Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Night Sleepover. I'm your host, Charli, and today is the 100th episode. So I did a thing where I invited whoever wanted to come on the internet, and we ended up with Lindsey and Kayce. Welcome.
Hey! Happy
I
100.
know.
Yes.
It seems like it should have already happened a while ago, but also shouldn't have happened yet at the same time.
Yeah.
How is your guys' day going?
It's Friday, and we're gonna be grateful for that. It's still summer in the south. We've had no rain. It's like 88 degrees today, but we're gonna pretend like it's fall and do all the fall things this weekend. So yeah, I'm just counting down till I'm done and get to go do fun stuff this weekend.
Okay. I love your shirt, by the way, Lindsey.
Oh, thank you. My Stars Hollow shirt. Shout out to my friend Sam. She got this for me.
Hi, Sam. Thank you for getting her that cute shirt. Where did you get it?
I'll find out.
I had a lot going on with my side hustles, and I had weirdly not too much going on at work. So I was like, man, I got to take a Friday off. So I took today off, and I had a wonderful morning. I went to a tea house. It's an African tea house. And I got a flight of tea, and I just sat and talked to the lady that worked there for like an hour and a half. And
were you by yourself and you just went and got a flight of tea? I love that.
That's awesome.
It was like a lovely way. Like, you know how when we were growing up, like old people would all go to McDonald's and get coffee and just sit and talk. I felt like I got to be the old person drinking the beverage and talking, and it was lovely.
You got a taste of retirement
I
life
know.
today.
I'm ready.
That's so exciting.
But
so what was your favorite?
There was like a blueberry hibiscus one that I got, and it was so good. I almost bought the bag. But I have been, you know how some people have like to be read piles? Well, I have a to be drank pile. And I knew that like if I went and got that tea, it would just sit on my shelf and I would neglect it. So I will go and pay for it to be made for me, because sometimes I like that, like the act of putting all the tea together and doing it, like, and when I get into the habit, it's fun and relaxing. But like before I'm in the habit of it, and I'm currently out of the habit of it, it's like, oh, I have to get the boiler thing out, then I have to put the leaves in, and it seems like a lot right now. So, but it's fall, so it's time for tea season anyway.
Hot drinks.
It's true. Yeah. Tea's yummy.
Kayce and I used to make tea blends and sell them at the farmer's market. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I love that. Tea was like our 2020 thing that we like leaned into during COVID, whenever, you had all this free time. So we discovered tea. And so every night that was our like date night. We sat on the couch and tried a new kind of tea.
That's adorable.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I still make all the teas. I just don't sell them. I just give them to people now. Oh, you would like tea? Here you go.
My one, I'm going to put the crown on my head. I sold out of mine every single week, and it was called Mad Hot Menstruation.
Yep. We pretty much sold out.
Why did I not know that you made tea? I can't believe this has never come up.
I don't know. I like do tea things like all the time. Like I did a tea workshop for Center for the Arts.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I love it.
But like, so Kayce taught me all about herbs and like how like the medicinal benefits of it, and then I geeked out on that for a while, and I got all these books and I learned all about it. And so like my tea blends are not only very yummy, but they're also like have different benefits for you and stuff.
That's so fun.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And Kayce's Moon Tonic, it's right up there with mine. But you have to, I feel like mine is like is like a gateway tea. Like it tastes like,
Yeah, hers is like fruity.
Yeah. And Kayce's is like, you already have to be on the tea train.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, mine, I like herbal more than fruit. And so mine are very plant-based.
It was
like, I love them, but
it was funny because in
if you don't
Utah
like
culture, like people don't drink tea there. And so we would have at the farmers market, we would make like samples like Costco, because I knew that we were never going to be able to sell to people if they didn't try it first, because most people in Utah have never tried tea in their life. And so we had all this stuff out, and I would get like the most like BYU looking dude, and I'd call him out and I'd be like, hey, do you want to try some tea? And he'd be like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, it's okay, it's Mormon approved, you can have some, I promise. And then he would like come up and he would try it, and he'd be like, I don't know, I don't like tea. And Kayce was like, it's like juice, just try it. And so we got all of these like super BYU looking like cream of the crop Mormon dudes to try all this tea, and they thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And then we would get like repeat clients that they would have like really hard periods, like the female people, they would have like really hard periods, and they would try it and they would come back and they'd be like, oh my gosh, this is the only thing that is like helping me live right now. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And like everyone's like, but we're not supposed to have tea. And I was like, well, think of it this way. You're not supposed to have black or green tea. This doesn't have any of that in it. It'll be fine. Like, it's juice. It seriously, we just told everyone it was juice.
Hence Mormon approved.
Is that the caffeine behind it? Is that why it wasn't like, you're not supposed to have caffeine? Is that right?
No, the caffeine technically isn't in the Word of Wisdom. It was black and green tea. It's actually hot drinks is what it is.
Interesting.
Like, so, but it was more based on coffee. And then tea was in that. Not that like people in America drank tea. So I was like,
it's very strange. Complicated.
There's a lot of things there.
Even the people that follow the
honestly,
rules, I don't think they truly understand what rule they're following.
Yeah, because like in the Word of Wisdom, you're supposed to have meat sparingly. You're supposed to eat vegetables like all the time. Like it's very healthy, and that's not a thing. Because I'm pretty sure if you drink 97 ounces of Diet Dr. Pepper a day, that's also against the Word of Wisdom.
Written down.
No, it's like Joseph Smith didn't know that would be an issue. No, I just
yeah.
So that was like the best.
Yeah,
time.
It was also fun because sometimes our lactation consultant friend would come with us, and she has a knitted pair of like boobs that she would like teach people how to get a perfect latch, or get a latch that works for them. And so, and they're like crocheted or knitted or whatever they were. And so like she would bring those and put them out on the farmer's market table, and people would be walking by and be like, hey, I bet you didn't think you'd see a pair of boobs today. It was so much fun.
Honestly, the faces that people made just made it even better, because Charli knew she would like pick out the people that would be the most embarrassed.
Uncomfortable.
And it was beautiful. Like it truly was the greatest thing on the planet. There was nothing better. Like it was awesome. And so once she left, I was like, I don't want to do this alone. And also it was cold.
It was cold.
So,
and also
it was so cold.
The farmer's market, I feel like it just doesn't have a very stable home. Like
it does now.
Where did it move?
It's so okay, so you know where we were on Bristlecone? You cross the road and it actually takes up the road in front of the tattoo parlor.
Oh, that's cool.
So they close off the road now.
Well, before it was like in an alleyway behind a coffee shop. And the coffee shop, I love going to that coffee shop as a patron, but like working with them, it was kind of a nightmare, because they would like not want anybody to park in their parking lot, but it was the only parking lot there. And the farmer's market had been in that area for longer than the coffee shop had been there. So it was like, they'd be like, don't park in our parking lot, where we're like, we're the farmer's market and we've been here for longer than you have. You don't park in our parking lot.
Like it was nuts. Like, yeah, it has a huge home now, but like it's weird because it's mostly like the craft stuff.
Oh.
Still, people aren't really selling much other stuff, which it's not a farmer's market. Like no one sells fruit or vegetables or anything else.
It's
just
like it's
craft. It's a vendor fair.
Well, sometimes, okay, I think that there was some kind of tea before we got involved that like the farmers went and opened their own farmers market on their by themselves. I feel like I don't know. Farmers market drama is always like, where does it even start? It seems like it started at the beginning of time.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, and it's expensive too. Even if you're buying like food here for the farmers market, it's expensive. You can't afford it, honestly. I don't know how people do it.
I feel like a lot of people also just like drive down to California and pick up produce and bring it back and sell it instead of actually growing it. So I don't see the point in that. You might as well go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of vendors fairs, guess what?
Yeah. Guess
I
what?
have a special announcement for the 100th episode, and that is that the sleepover in real life is real and it's going to happen. And I manifested it. We all manifested it, and it's going to happen in the spring. I'm working on planning it, and part of it is going to have a vendor fair of women-owned businesses. Isn't that amazing? And it's like loose. It's a loose idea right now, so I can't share too many details. But our manifesting worked, and I wanted everybody to know that.
That's so awesome!
Yay! So it's going to happen in the spring, and I'm working on it now. That's one of the things that I was like, I have to work, like take a day off to like get the ground laid for those plans. So that's happening.
Yeah. Awesome!
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
You're doing it. Look at you.
Doing it. I'm making dreams happen.
And you're like official with the government and everything too. Like
I did the whole official government thing, and I went and got a business bank account. And the story is kind of funny. I happen to know like some people that work at the bank that I went to go sign up, and so I like walked in, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, you're starting a business! We're so excited!" And it just like felt really baller to just have like people like supporting you like that. So I was like, "Yeah, I am! Oh my gosh!" So definitely recommend it. I don't know why I was so like caught up in my head for like a year and a half, because I've been making this plan for like a year and a half, and I was like caught up in my head. I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. But like once you actually do it, like there's so much support out there that you don't even know exists until you're like walking down the path. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is super cool.
And now you can teach other women how to do it.
There we go. I'm a baller.
Yeah, like you
actually,
are a baller.
Kayce even came to me recently too for information on stuff like that. She's got something going on too. You should talk about it if you can.
Oh my god. Oh, it's a whole thing. So I messaged Charli because she told us that she did her LLC through LegalZoom and everything. And so my friend and I are starting a midwifery school, and we have our skills workshop set for February, and we needed to like get all of our ducks in a row because we've been putting it off. We're like, we can't really take money until we set up the business stuff, because we can't get our bank account until we set up our business stuff. So I asked Charli how it went, and did like it work out, and so she's like, no. And I totally forgot that we have I live in a college town, and they offer free business counseling to small businesses in the area. Like they have an entire section of the college set aside for this. It's super cool. So Charli reminded me it existed. I was like, oh crap, that is a thing. So I made an appointment. It took him about a week and a half to get me in. And I go in there, and I came in with like a whole list of questions, because I was like, I need to know how to set up the LLC and how can I do this at home and all of these other things. He's like, would you just like to do it together? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, Utah just set up a new system, so it's incredibly confusing to actually do it online. And he's like, do you mind if I use your login and things like this? And I was like, you're just gonna do this for me? And he's like, why wouldn't I do this for you? So I sat there for 45 minutes and he like filed all of my stuff. And I was like, do I owe you anything? He's like, no. And I was like, this is the best day of my life. And
that place is so cool.
like,
I almost started a business
so cool.
before in Utah. And I went to that place originally and I had it all like ready to go mostly. And then the building that I wanted was $900,000. So I wasn't going to be able to do that.
Yeah. So like it was super, super cool. And, like the system that they use to log in for stuff is the same system I use to do birth certificates. And so I already had all that stuff. He's like, oh, you know this? And I was like, I have a login. Does that count? But like, he was super awesome about it all. I'm still waiting to hear back because it takes forever. But, it was awesome.
I don't know why we were in our head about it before. It was not as hard as we thought it was going to be.
No. Like, honestly, the hardest part is now just waiting.
And not knowing like when it's going to come or when you're going to be able to fit it in your schedule to check off all the things. It's kind of like going to college.
Right.
Like, when you went to college, it was like, I got to sign up for classes. But so you go to this place to sign up for the classes and they're like, actually, you have to go to this building to talk to this person. And then you have to go to this building to talk to this person. And it's pretty much just like that. Like, you like go to this one place and you say, I want to do this thing. And they're like, okay, well, you need to go to this person and talk to this thing. And eventually you just like scheduling all that stuff. And before you know it, you have a business.
Yeah. It's wild. I'm hoping there's not many more steps I have to do. I don't know. Like, because like everything is filed. I'm just waiting to hear back. I'm just hoping that I'm done.
Right.
And you're like super thorough with all kinds of paperwork and research and all that kind of stuff too. So I'm sure that by the time you actually pulled the trigger, it was already ready to go.
Pretty much, we were good to go. We just needed to file the things and all the because like
I think by that point, as long as your name isn't taken by somebody else, you're good. I think that's the last step. So
yeah, and it was available, so we were good.
Yeah.
So, do you like have a goal date of when you're opening for like students and stuff?
Technically no, but I don't know. Like, we both have this gut feeling it needs to be like halfway through 2026.
Okay.
Like, it needs to be quicker than we wanted. Because we were thinking like 5 years was our plan.
Oh wow.
Like, her and I met in December of last year. So like, it happened really quickly. And then we ended up talking on the phone like 4 times a week about stuff. And then both of us were like, so I have this weird feeling that we're supposed to make a school. And we're like, no, I had that. And so it was a whole crazy thing. And we're like, 5 years. We'll have a 5-year plan. And then a few months later, we found out all the crap that went down with other programs and stuff. And so we were like, we're going to have to do this faster, aren't we?
Oh, was there stuff like other schools in the area or?
No, just the other midwifery programs.
Oh, okay.
They're just all crap. So yeah, I've been talking to the students a lot anyway, a lot of the midwifery students, and a lot of their grievances and things that are happening. And so we're just like, we need to do this sooner than we wanted to. So we have our first skills workshop in March. And we're not taking very many people. I think we're like halfway full already. It's 3 days and it's going to be awesome. And then we'll probably do one in the fall as well. It just depends on if she moves or not, because she's got an awesome house in California that is like beautiful and perfect. But
who has an
she's
awesome
possibly
house
moving
in California? I feel like like
she's in Grass Valley, so she's like outside Reno.
Oh, okay.
And an hour from Sacramento, so not like California. But yeah, she's renting it and it's an awesome space, and then we're gonna have people camp on her property and it's beautiful. Cool. And I don't know. So that's awesome. So I don't know, 1.5 years, maybe a little less than a year, or little less than 2 years, but we haven't figured all that stuff out yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be intense.
That's exciting. I'm so excited for you. Look at us. Look at us go.
I know. It's so exciting. Yeah. I'm doing monthly study groups with all the students now too, which has been ridiculously fun. And
are you being sarcastic,
you know how
or
I like
are
to
you actually saying that's fun?
No,
okay.
no.
I couldn't tell.
You know how I like to lecture. Like, you know how I like to info dump
Yes,
things
I
on
do.
people. And so these students are like, we don't know about this. And I'm like, oh, it's time to do this. Let's go. And so that's been, I've been loving it. It's been awesome.
When Kayce was my teacher, like we would spend probably probably like 5 hours
Lots.
a week in the car together, traveling to
Oh,
all
at
different
minimum.
kinds of
Yeah.
clients' houses, because she goes to your house for your appointments and everything. And she had clients that were like an hour and a half away. And so she would just like info dump on me, and I would tell her my ridiculous stories. And it was so much fun. And so
it was
that's like
blast.
half the reason why I like was like, you should come be a regular guest on my podcast, because like I already know that we could talk for forever and not run out of things to say.
Yeah.
I love it.
Seriously, I'm like, that was like the one sad part and I don't take as many clients now either, and I keep them really close, and so I'm not in the car as much, but also I'm like alone unless Glade, my oldest, comes with me, and so she does that like for the most part, but I only have 2 clients left. So
Glade's daughter is her assistant. Isn't that kind of cool?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 17.
Okay.
So she's been helping me for 2 years now. So my best friend was my assistant forever from when I started, and then she built her own house with her own 2 hands, and so she couldn't like be on call. So she took time off. She's coming with me to my December client. She's super stoked about it, to come back to birth again, but then I only have 1 more after that. So it's like, you're back, but I'm not. So.
Yeah.
We can geek out about birth stuff for a long time. So Lindsey, you're gonna have to steer us in another direction.
Yes, steer. Oh, do the thing.
Is there a funny kid story that you have from recently? Because your kids are pretty entertaining sometimes. Yeah.
Me? Oh, geez. Do I have a funny kid story? I'm sure I do. Right now, so it is fall. It feels like summer, but it's Christmas at my house. I've already put up my Christmas trees. I have no shame. I just love Christmas. And I have one son who's 10 who tolerates my Christmas decorations. And then I have a son who's 8 who also is just like a little Christmas elf. And so he has been listening nonstop to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in his room. And the boys share a speaker and like through Spotify. And so it's just this constant battle of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and whatever it is at the moment that Noah wants to listen to. But Owen has been falling asleep under his Christmas tree every night.
Oh my gosh, that's actually adorable.
Yeah. I go in there and like get him off of his floor and put him in his bed. So anyway, yeah. So they're just, I don't know. I have boys, and so everything is like fart jokes and like, stinky stuff. And so anyway, they're great, but yeah, we're full-fledged Christmas at our house.
That's awesome.
So I'm excited.
Well, you have, I sent you Christmas ducks. Are you gonna buy Christmas ducks for your Jeep?
The problem is I don't need like 48 like Oriental training. I may have to find somewhere else to get some Christmas ducks. But yes, we just recently got a Jeep Wrangler, and so there's this whole culture of like
the ducks.
Yeah. And so at my work, we also do some things with ducks, and so the boys have been ducking Jeeps anytime that they see one, because we have lots. But I feel like we do need to invest in the Christmas ducks.
I think so. I think that seems like your brand.
Their 2 loves, can just come together.
That's so cool.
But that's a whole world I knew nothing about until we got a Jeep Wrangler, and like we pulled off of the lot with a duck. Like they gave us
that's
one.
actually cute. Like, do you know like the history of the duck things? Because people ask me about it all the time. They'll be like, why they got ducks on there? And I'm like, I don't know. Like that question has come up like at least twice.
Would you like me to look it up?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, I would love that. It has something to do with Duck Jeep. I don't know. I've also heard now there's Moo Moo Subaru, which is like you find little cows and put them on Subarus apparently.
Oh, okay. So Her name is Allison Parliament. She's from Ontario, Canada, and she just randomly bought a bunch of rubber ducks from a store and gave them to Jeep owners with a note that said "Had a great day," and that was like a way to make people happy during COVID. So like they just kept it going. That's pretty cool.
And it's like global now. I mean, that's impressive. Just like a cute little idea.
Yeah, she just wanted to make people smile. That's adorable.
Aw, we love that.
Yeah.
It's like a whole culture, man. I mean, I had no idea. And Jeep owners like wave at each other, and there's like clubs, and it's I got to do some research on Jeep culture.
I only know about Jeep culture because we live in Southern Utah, and like that's like a big thing there for people to like go out and do all the rocks and the trails and stuff and see how far their Jeeps can go.
Okay.
Sometimes
we haven't like off-roaded or anything. We're pretty much just like top down and
like
good country music
Jeep.
or something blaring. Yeah.
That works.
It hasn't gotten dirty.
That's okay. That's allowed.
That's also kind of on brand, so it's
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
So what else are you doing to celebrate your 100th birthday podcast episode?
I don't know. I did go to a Halloween party. That's kind of like a celebration. And I dressed up like the Statue of Liberty, but specifically the Statue of Liberty from Miss Congeniality.
That was like your gorgeous green dress, right?
It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually, I don't know why, but I get real like self-conscious every time I post pictures of myself on social media. So that was like not something I'm used to when I posted those, but I was like, this is too pretty not to share.
Yeah, it looks really pretty. And also I love that it was the one for Miss Congeniality. Mm-hmm. So points to
you. Because I did that because it is the perfect couple costume for someone who doesn't have a husband that will dress up with them. Because all he has to do is wear a suit and then he's my FBI boyfriend.
Oh, nice.
I like it.
I'm a fan.
Nice.
Yeah, that works.
Do you have any like fun, since you're like a Christmas obsessed, do you have any fun like Christmas things that you do with your kids like every year, traditions?
I mean, I don't know that I have anything that's like outside of what everyone else does, right? But I mean, we do the Christmas pajamas and we do the drive around and drink hot cocoa and look at the lights and all of that. Our sweet little small town has just a cute little parade that we always start out kind of, I say start the season. I mean, it's October and our trees are up, but you know, like officially start the season. Yeah. And so I don't know. I think at Christmas, our town kind of turns into almost like a little Hallmark town, you know, with like the lights and you drive through and it's just, especially when it does snow, it just feels Hallmarky. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Charli? Do you agree?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just small. Well, I don't know if it's small, like population wise, but I feel like, the culture is just like, has stayed small, even though the population has grown. So it feels like an ideal, like community feeling.
Yeah. So, I mean, we do breakfast with Santa, which is like a cute little event that our downtown does. One of our other people that we work with a lot, her organization helps put that on. But they have like crafts and donuts for the kids, and then they get to sit on Santa's lap and they take a picture. And then the cute part is Santa writes them a letter back with like the things that they asked for, and they get their little picture with Santa. So anyway, we've done that. The boys, we showed up at Breakfast with Santa last year before Santa got there. And so, according to the boys, now Santa drives a Subaru because he showed up in his Subaru with Mrs. Claus. Thankfully, all completely dressed and ready to go. But we had to have a big discussion about how, you know, you can't do a sleigh in the beginning of December. It draws too much attention. So he drives a Subaru. Oh,
that's cute. So. Do they still believe in Santa?
Fantastic.
I think that my younger one does. I think the oldest just plays along.
That's a nice big brother.
Yeah. And we've never pushed it too hard, but They got a basketball goal for Christmas last year, and while we were trying to like hammer that thing into the ground at like midnight, Christmas Eve night, I had the cameras on to make sure the boys were staying asleep and not coming outside. And Owen sat straight up in his bed and was like, "Noah, it's the Polar Express," because he thought all of the noise was the Polar Express. So
adorable.
So I think for now they still believe, but I don't know. Santa's gonna look different this year, so we'll see if that changes things.
Aww.
So anyway,
Well, that's awesome.
Christmas is just fun, so it's a great way to. It's been a long year, so it's like let's put up the tree and just enjoy these last 2 months.
Yeah, for sure. Kayce, does Link still believe in Santa, or did Link ever believe in Santa? I know Midna never did.
They both still kind of do. They kind of are unsure, but like Glade helps us now, so she's at the age where we just have her help with Santa because she's 17. So she helps like come up with a group gift for all of them, all 3 kids, and then they love it. I think Link just likes to believe in anything where he gets presents.
100%. 100% the same.
Yeah, like he's like, oh yes, Santa will get me this. Well, and then we had to put a price on how much Santa can spend, because I was like, Link's like, well, he could get me, and I was like, oh, I highly doubt that, my son. And so like you're only
Santa has a
allowed
budget.
to like less than $100 is what Santa can give you. Like it is not going to be a hoverboard. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Santa's got a lot of kids to get toys for.
Yeah, I'm like, don't you want Santa to get you like the smaller gifts, and then we can get you the bigger gifts? I mean, come on, there's like a lot of children, so yeah, like it helps. And then we do like, I think Santa's doing Legos for everybody this year. I don't remember, but we could use
always a safe bet.
Yeah, we could use homeschool money for it, so I don't have to really pay hundreds of dollars for Legos.
Kayce, like she homeschools all of her kids, and like she subscribes to a bunch of different grant programs and stuff too. So she gets like all kinds of cool stuff. Like, didn't you get like a whole camera set for Glade or something?
Yeah, I got for me, you mean? Yeah, I upgraded my camera, my DSLR, and gave my old one to Glade, but I upgraded it and got money back for it. I just got a new telephoto lens with Link's money. We got one of those like where you put your phone on it and it follows the people.
Oh yeah, a gimbal.
Like the
a gimbal.
A gimbal. There it is. That's the one. I got one of those because they have my younger two have a YouTube.
Oh, they
channel.
do.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
They do.
What do they talk?
Mine
have been begging. I haven't pulled the trigger. So what is their topic? What do they talk
play
about?
Video games.
Okay.
So yeah, and so I had to buy like the extra stuff too because I have a MacBook and it doesn't work well with Mac, so I had to buy a whole bunch of other stuff to make it work. So that was all covered. And then like if we go on like field trips and stuff, so like the last time we went up to, because we do a lot of field trips and things, like we went to Vegas and did the aquariums. We went up to Hill Air Force Base and did looked at all the planes and things like that and do stuff like that, which is the zoo, all of that. So the gimbal works really well for that. But yeah, I get awesome. A lot of books. This year we've gotten a lot of books. I had to buy 2 new bookshelves.
Oh
no.
Hate that for you.
Oh no, that's terrible. More books in my life. That's the worst.
How did I not know that there was a YouTube channel?
They're called the Buzz and the Bee.
That's kind of cute.
They came up with their own name. It's adorable. And yeah, it's mostly Link. Because in the homeschool program we're technically signed up for, they have to have a tech class. And so he's doing animation this year. Cool. But the YouTube channel was his class a couple years ago. So he plays games on the Switch and we record it and he talks and we did the whole him and I did Pikmin 3 together. So we have like the entire walkthrough of Pikmin 3 with me and him playing.
3 TVs in her living room where everyone plays video games.
Just 2.
I thought there was 3.
That's
just what
2.
The twins told me there was 3.
2.
So
okay,
that would be like the dream for my children.
There is only 3 if it's the Olympics, or it's Frozen Frenzy for hockey, and all 32 teams are playing. Like, And then we also have like 3 iPads set up with stuff. Like it's a whole problem in my house. But there's permanently 2 TVs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It works.
Your kids were going to start a YouTube channel too, I thought. Didn't you have like an AI generated name or something?
Oh yeah, well they just want to be Dude Perfect. They just want to redo that, and so that's kind of already been done, you know. So it's hard to get like YouTube famous doing something other people have already done. But yeah, they had some sort of like Basket Bros something or other name that we used ChatGPT to come up with. And they just do trick shots for like hours on end outside, and you know, then one time one will hit, and they'll be so excited, and the angle will be wrong on the camera or something, and they'll have to start all over. But yeah, hey, you know what? They're having fun. They're outside. Whatever. I'm down. So
yeah, you should be.
Yeah. You can never really plan that stuff. Like my older son had a video that went viral on TikTok, and it was like just something on my TikTok that I made of him, and now like 11 million people have seen it. But like you can't plan for it, you know? And when you try to plan for it, it's very obvious. And so like that's what I'm trying to get them to understand is like, yes, that happened and that's really cool, but like that's not something you can stage. You've got to have something that makes people want to come back and watch you repeatedly.
Yeah, because even if you do like have a couple of that go off, like if you're trying to force it, people are going to notice.
I mean, I do. It's like, ugh, this is the same trend everybody's doing. Let's move on. Let's do something different.
Yeah. I had a pod circle meeting last night, and that like somebody was asking me all these questions about like how long should my podcast be and what service should I use, and I can like give my suggestions and stuff, but like at the end of the day, like your podcast gets to be whatever you want it to be. And if you're gonna do like the trendy thing, like right now there's a trend in only having 20-minute episodes because that's how long it takes people to get to work, which I can get on board with that. But I think that my content is like I can't stop at 20 minutes because I like there's too much going on, like it's not done yet. So I feel like people will push pause.
Well, 20 minutes. I feel like if 20 minutes of like good content is better than an hour of so-so content, but like if you have an hour of good content, then fine, I'll listen to that too. So,
but also if you drop off 20 minutes in my episode, that's fine with me too. Like that doesn't bother me. Yeah,
it still counts.
So I see it as a win-win.
Yeah.
What kind of people are only driving 20 minutes to work?
I drive 15.
Oh, okay. I mean, like people that are in like tiny places. Yeah.
I
mean, like, shoot, it takes me like 30 minutes to get to like downtown Enoch now.
Yeah,
it's crazy here.
I remember because living in that area, it's like you just like go into a different zone because it took me 15 minutes just to get to Walmart, and it's in the same city that I lived in, even though it's not a big city. It's just long distances between.
Well, like there's no straight shots to anything. Like you have to either go around and it's a grid, but like weirdly there's no straight shots, and I refuse to take Main Street anymore because there's too many people and it just is nasty. I hate it. And so I have to go around anyway. It's weird.
That sounds like people talking about 412 here. I refuse to take 412. I'll drive the back roads.
Yeah, I pretty much only drive back roads here in Cedar now. It's not worth it. And like in St. George, it's awful. I hate going to St. George.
St. George has always been awful. They have the worst drivers because
it's getting worse.
For 5 reasons, I think. Let me see if I can remember them. I used to like list them off all the time. Number 1, it's a retirement community and people can't see or hear. Number 2, it's a college town. So everyone's trying to show off their fancy drive moves still because they're undeveloped prefrontal cortexes. Number 3, it's like super fast growing. So there's always a brand new road happening. And then it's a tourist destination. So nobody knows where they're going. And there's one more reason that I can't remember why. But for all those reasons, nobody knows what's going on in St. George, and it's horrible to drive in.
It's awful. It's just, and the roads are just so small. There's so many people that live there now.
The roads are not that small. So you gotta come visit me.
No, but they're like 2 lanes is not enough
Yeah.
for St. George.
I see what you're
Like
saying.
when you've got 100,000 people, yeah, like it's too small for how big it is. And now that they've got 3 temples.
3? Where's the other one?
So you've got
Yeah.
Red Cliffs, and then you've got Washington, and you've got
Where's
St.
Red
George.
Cliffs?
Red Cliffs is so you remember where Brianna lived? So by that new Smith's?
Yeah. Well, then I thought
by Dinosaur,
that's Washington, though.
by Johnson Dinosaur. Is that well? There's a third one coming. Maybe it's Bloomington is getting the
more
third
like
one.
it.
It's not built yet. Yeah, it's not built yet, but it is. They are having a third one.
Oh my gosh, that's a Mormon thing.
Red Cliff
just
is down.
to fill you in, Lindsey.
Oh yeah.
Like
It's
yeah. It's a whole cultural thing. Like when a new temple gets built, there's like several businesses that benefit from it. One of them is Golden Corral.
Yes, we do have one now. It's very exciting. It's my son's favorite place to eat. Yeah, it's a whole level. Yeah. And now there's temples everywhere. And then the costs of houses go up, and then they build all these like crappy houses that are falling apart.
Dude, that's the whole thing. Like if you have a temple view in your, it's like a beach view. It's the same thing. It's like in Utah culture, like it's crazy how much the economy is affected by.
So question, do people belong to like one temple forever, or do they like temple hop?
No, it's the temple is for anyone that's in the church.
Okay, so like you may go. Okay, so you don't like go to the same one every Sunday, or do you?
It's not a Sunday thing.
It's not a Sunday. This is my question. See,
okay, so you go to church on Sunday. You have a ward that you're in. So depending on where you live, is the ward that you go to, and that's an every Sunday thing.
Okay,
except for like twice a year where you go to your stake, and like you have the ward, which is the small one, and then you have the stake, which has a whole bunch of wards in it, and then you have the region, which is a whole bunch of stakes in it. But every 6 months or so you do a stake Sunday meeting, and then your temple is extra, so like you have to be 18, or unless you're doing baptisms, but that you have to be 11, almost 12, or turning 12 that year is what it is now. You used to have to be 12 when I was doing it. So like you can do that once you turn 12, but using the actual temple, you have to be 18. And then you have to be endowed, which is a whole other separate thing. So like that normally only happens if you're going on your mission or you're getting married, or you have special permission. So like for women that aren't getting married, normally they aren't allowed to like go through the temple till they're like 22, 23. Like, and that's early. They wait until you get married. It's kind of stupid. But then you can, once you are able to go, you can go whenever you want. So like there are people here that go every day. Like, cause it's a separate thing. It's like work for the dead and all sorts of, it's weird. Let me just put that out there. It's weird, but it's weird. So you can do that anytime you want. And people volunteer and work there. Pretty much no positions in the church are paid except the really higher up people. So it's all volunteer. It's mostly retirement people that work.
And that's why St. George has 3 of them, because it's a retirement community.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And the only reason Cedar got one is because they were closing the St. George temple for 2 years to fix it. Like, and it's busy. Our temple is busy all the time. You have to have an appointment now because it's so busy. But it's a small temple, which doesn't help. But there's like 30 of them in Utah. How many temples are in Utah now?
I have no idea.
Well, and they just announced another one. Or I think they did. I don't know. People look at me.
I have my own perspective on it.
There's all sorts of things. Utah has 31.
It's insane.
Yeah, there's a
like
crap
not
ton
that many
in
generations ago. Like probably my parents' generation, there was only like 5 in the whole world.
when I was a teenager, President Hinckley, so this was 90s. He became prophet in 95. His goal during his like tenure, he died in like 99, right? Maybe. No, it was after that.
2008.
It was Glade sure. Was Glade 1 or was she not born yet? It was one of those. So his goal was to get 100 temples in the world because there were literally like 15, 20. And he did that in the early 2000s. And now we're up to almost 200. Like it went fast after. It's weird. There's so many. They're really
Maybe
pretty to
also
drive
look
by,
at
but they don't look
the incline of how much money was in the privately traded fund at the same time. Maybe
Oh, I
those trends
know.
match.
Who knows, right? Yeah.
Real estate development.
It's a whole
What?
thing. Who knew? Especially since they don't really buy the land for temples. The land is donated most of the time. So, yeah. And it's whatever it is, right? It's fine. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
Anyway, it does impact the culture and the economy in ways that you would not expect in Utah.
Yeah.
Like
No, the houses right by our temple in Cedar are like $1 million.
Be,
and the average income in Cedar is $15 an hour. Like, it is not something people afford.
And it's like the houses in that neighborhood used to be like $300,000 houses, and now they're $800,000 houses. Like, just because the building got built.
Yep.
And you're holier if you live close to the temple, apparently.
Yep.
Anyway.
It is wild. It's wild.
I have feelings about it.
That's crazy. Who knew?
Not me. Anyway. Well, this has been fun. Anybody else have anything that they wanted to talk about that they didn't get to talk about?
I forgot about this today, so
I didn't know what we were going to talk
about. That's the plan. Usually, the plan is there is no plan most of the time. The one thing that I did want to talk about that I didn't get to talk about yet is that we have the podcast conference that I've been helping plan coming up next month in November. It's November 14th through the 16th, and I just made a cool little promo video for it. Maybe I'll share it somewhere. If you're in content creation of any kind, it's a lot of fun to go to this place and meet other people that are doing stuff like that. And so I encourage you to get tickets and come, because it's going to be a lot of fun. That's the only thing I wanted to talk about that I didn't get to talk about. But anyway, other than that, thank you guys for coming on the 100th episode. And
happy birthday!
Yeah.
I feel like I should have a confetti pop or something.
I wish that I had thought about that. I did not. But anyway, well, thanks for coming on. Okay, thanks for listening. Okay,
of course.
Love you. Bye.
All right. Love you. Bye.